Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this session of Spokane Public Schools Keep Learning series for mathematics. Today's lesson is for students in grade 2, but all of you are welcome to join. My name is Miss Kim, and I'm a second grade teacher at Grant Elementary in Spokane Public Schools. I will be your teacher for this lesson. I'm so glad you are participating with me today. If you didn't see our previous lessons, you are welcome to go on the KSPS website. Sometimes it's helpful to go back and watch the other lessons in our series so you can continue to build your understanding of the mathematics we'll be doing together. Today, we will be learning about fractions, including halves, thirds, and fourths. For today's lesson, you may need some paper, a pencil, and some crayons. I'll give you a moment to gather your supplies. Okay, let's get started. So let's start by talking about what a fraction is. On the screen, you can see the word fraction, some picture examples, and a definition. So a fraction is a number expressed as some number of equal parts of a whole. That's a little confusing. Let's talk about what that means. Take a look at the circle on the screen in front of you. Do you see how there are lines across it that break it into parts that are the same size? Those parts are each a fraction or a part of the whole circle. You can see that one of the parts is colored in gray, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in the circle. So that's why this fraction says 1/4. It's telling us that one part out of 4 of the parts in the circle is colored in. The same happens over here in this set of 3 circles. There are 1, 2, 3 circles, but only one of them is colored in. So 1 out of 3 of the circles is colored in. Take a moment to think. What do you already know about fractions? You may remember that we've talked a little bit about fractions in Number Corner earlier this year. In January, our calendar collector was pulling out tiles to match the day of the month and then deciding whether the collection was more, less than, or exactly half red. And we wrote fractions to describe what fraction of the tiles were red and what fraction of the tiles were blue. In February, in our calendar grid, we looked at flags from around the world and thought about a similar thing, whether each of the flags was more than, less than, or exactly 1/2 red. So you've already had some practice in thinking about things in fractions. Today we're going to think about how else we can use fractions in real life. If you look at the pictures on the screen, you'll see 2 examples of garden beds. Now, I don't know about where you live, but in the neighborhood where I live, flowers are starting to sprout everywhere, and people are starting to plant plants. And that means that they have to plan out their garden beds so that all the plants have enough room to grow and get the nutrients that they need. Let's take a look at some garden beds and see how you might split them up using fractions. But wait a second. How do we talk about fractions? Let's start by talking about a big word that you'll use a lot when you get into the upper grades. Denominator. Can you say that word? Denominator. Maybe you can even clap out the syllables. The denominator is just the bottom number in a fraction when we write a fraction. And it says how many equal parts the whole is divided into. So these are some of our pictures from before, and you can see the circle is divided into 4 equal parts, so the bottom number says that this whole is divided into fourths. This set of 3 circles has 3 in the whole set, so the fraction says that we divide this into thirds. The last shape, which we didn't talk about before, is a rectangle that is cut into 2 equal parts, one here, and they're the same size. So this shape is broken into halves. That's the only one that doesn't quite match the number below. Fourths sounds like 4, thirds sounds like thirds, and when we split things into 2 equal parts, we use a special word called halves. We've talked a lot about halves and doubles this year, so you should be pretty familiar with that. Let's take a look at some circular garden beds together and see if we can figure out how many equal parts each garden bed is divided into. Here's our first garden bed. It's not divided into any parts. This is one whole garden bed. Maybe you would plant one type of plant here. Let's take a look at the next one. How many parts is it divided into? When I count, I see 1 and 2. 2 parts, and they're the same size, which means this garden bed is divided into 2 halves. Take a look at this garden bed. How many equal parts do you see? If you counted the same as me, you saw 3 equal parts. So this bed is divided into 3 thirds. One more. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So this bed is divided into 4 fourths. Okay, your turn again. Take a look at these rectangular garden beds. Can you say how many equal parts they're divided into? Now would be a good time to pause the video to give yourself time to work, and then start it again when you're ready to talk about the parts. Okay, let's see how many equal parts each of these are divided into. The first bed has 1, 2, 3 equal parts, so I hope you thought it was divided into 3 thirds. The second garden bed has 2 equal parts, so it's divided into 2 halves. The last garden bed has 4 equal parts, so it's divided into 4 fourths. Did you get it? Nice job working hard. Now let's revisit how we talk about fractions, because there's another number involved in writing a fraction that we haven't talked about yet, and that's called the numerator. You can see that word on your screen. Can you say it? Numerator. Nice. The numerator is the top number in a fraction, which shows how many equal parts are being counted. So when we look at our pictures, because one of the parts is colored in on this circle, the fraction says 1/4. If another part were colored in, it would say 2/4. Same over here with these circles. Because there are 1, 2, 3, but only one is colored in, this fraction says 1/3. And in the last shape that we see, there are 2 equal parts, but one is shaded in, so 1/2 of the rectangle is colored in. So let's look at this garden bed. Someone came in and planted some cabbages. So now I want you to ask yourself two questions. How many parts of the garden bed are planted? So how many parts have plants in them? And how many parts does the garden bed have in all? Let's look at this together. If I look at where the lines are on the garden bed, I see a line right here and a line right here, breaking the garden bed into 1, 2, 3 equal parts. Now, how many of those parts is planted? I only see plants, the cabbages, in one of the parts. So I would say 1 is the number of equal parts in the garden bed that are planted, and 3 is the number of equal parts in the whole garden bed. So the garden bed is 1/3 planted. 1 out of 3 of the parts has plants in it. Okay, your turn. Let's take a look at these garden beds and think about what fraction of the garden bed has plants in it. Let's do the first one together. When I look at the circular garden bed on the left, I think, I see one line that's dividing this circle right here. So I see 2 parts, and one of them has plants in it. So I would say that 1 part out of 2 equal parts is planted, or 1/2 of this garden bed has plants in it. Okay. Take a look at the next 2 garden beds and see if you can write a fraction to describe what part of the garden bed has plants in it. Now may be a good time to pause the video and restart it when you're ready to talk about what fraction of the garden bed has plants in it. Okay, ready? So in the rectangular garden bed, I see 2 sections that have plants in them out of 4 equal sections. So we would say 2/4 of this garden bed have plants in them. For the last circular garden bed, I see 2 sections that have flowers in them and 3 equal sections. So we would say 2/3 of this flower bed has plants in it. How did you do? Did you try your best? Good job working hard. So today you learned a little more about halves, thirds, and fourths, and how to write fractions to describe the way that things are divided. Here's my challenge to you. Can you design a garden bed? Get a piece of paper and something to draw with. You might already have it from earlier. You can fold your paper into halves, thirds, or fourths. Remember, to be fractions, all of the parts have to be the same size. Once you've decided what fraction you're going to use and you fold the paper up, draw what you would plant in each part. Share with your family, your friends, even your teacher. I've enjoyed doing some mathematics with you today. Thank you for joining me today as you continue your learning from home. I look forward to seeing you again for our next lesson on KSPS. And if you are looking for more activities, they can be found on the Spokane Public Schools Learning from Home website.